Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiration Morning Live. I am Christina Crowley, and we have a special guest this morning, Winston. He is my big red kitty cat, and he just wouldn't shut up before I started, so I had to pick him up. And I will put him down now because he seems like now that I'm talking, he wants away. But I love my kitty cats. I love my pets, and he's very, very good, and he always has been, and so has my Millie. Millie comes up and says, please, come on, come walk with me. And they're really good, and this is Inspiration Morning Live number 116, and I am glad that you're here with me this morning. And, I have a big desk, and sometimes Winston is on his corner of the desk and sitting, and I have some stuff in his way lately. That's how my morning is going. And I forgot my coffee. I think I left it upstairs. But it's Friday, and it is Friday, and I really, I've talked about this before, and I want to talk about it again. It is change, and change is a love-hate kind of a thing. And, I was thinking about it this morning, and that we don't want change, but we want the results of change. And, it's kind of it's kind of one of those things that I think that's, what we've always been. And I've worked towards change. I strive towards change. And there are some changes that I've never been able to do. And there are some kinds of change that, it's quick and it's easy for me. And I think that, goes on our strengths of who we are, or what we've had to experience from time to time, so that we know we just have to get through it. And, there's lots of possible things coming up with the holidays, and that's kind of has to deal with change too. Good morning, thank you for joining me. I want to say hi and welcome. Please feel free to give me some thumbs up, some hearts. I really love those, and I appreciate them. And feel free to share this if you feel like that this will be helpful to somebody else who's going through some change right now. Because, I kind of do have my own perspective. We all kind of have our own perspective. But I think when it comes down to change, it's like what I said when I first started is we all want the results of change, though we don't want to have to change. We don't want to have to go through what it is, because change can be painful. And change that isn't even painful can be kind of perceived as painful. I know that, let's just take, for example, I've been trying to do a grain-free diet, and I have been trying for months and months and months. And, for the 10 days of it, the 10 days at the beginning of it, I went hardcore. I did it really well, and I just totally succeeded at it. And after that, it was really hard, because there are many things that I really enjoy, like sugar. Like I like wheat bread. I like rice, and to give up grain, even though I wanted its great results, and I felt the results. The change, I wanted the change. I didn't want to go through the process of, the painfulness of doing it, because it was hard. You kind of detox, you kind of go through withdrawal, and then there's that craving for things. So I wanted the results of the change, but going through the change was hard. It was really impossible. It's harder than a change that's just thrust upon us. I remember years ago, I was told that I have an allergy to something I loved, and I could never, ever, ever, ever have any of it again. And then it was easy for me to immediately stop. I mean, sure, I wanted it, but I was able to immediately stop. And that kind of change was thrust upon me in such a way that it was, it was dire. But things that I want, things that I know that I want to experience, are harder, because I don't have to give up grain as a life or death situation. I want to give up grain because I know how it feels. I know that it makes me look better. I know that it makes me feel better. I know that it drops my blood sugar, which I struggle with. I struggle with it. I struggle with it because I have some extra pounds on me. I struggle with it because, of a number of reasons. But, so I really enjoyed the results of giving up grain. And that goes to a lot of things in life. And I think we can, think about it in that way. Change doesn't have to be hard if we lean into it. And I know that, I think it's Kelly Freston. I think that's her name. I don't always get names right. That I get here, unless I have it in front of me, I mess up the names. Kelly Freston, she's a vegan, and she talks about how she leaned into going completely vegan. She's been vegan for a decade now, decades possibly. And I read her book, and that for me was like, it was a turning point, because you can lean into things. You could kind of go part of the way. And I think that's easier. For me, it was easier to give up bread. It was easy to give up bread for a long time. Every now and then I die for a bagel, but it was easy for me to give up bread and not have it in the house. But I found some grain-free bread, which is really good. It's a little expensive, so I don't have it all the time, but I found a substitute. So I'm leaning into the change, and I think leaning into the change is, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's, when you do those changes, it's not life or death, but you really want the outcome, and going through the, I don't know what the term is, the woods, the weeds, going through what it takes to get there, to the end of it, at the end of your journey. We all want the end of our journey, and I am not alone. And that's why I speak about this, because I really, really feel that. Change can be difficult, but it doesn't need to be impossible. I think a lot of it's about getting our mind on board, getting our body on board, getting through the cravings, getting through the part of us that thinks it's negative. It doesn't always have to be negative. It's part of its resistance, and it's our hunter-gatherer mind talking to us, because change in our hunter-gatherer mind it's negative. It's bad. It is, it's something to be, wary of. And so that also is why the resistance pops up when we want change. I think change is a wonderful thing. Change is everlasting, and we can't stop change. And so I think it's best to just dig in and go with it and celebrate it and like it. I know, with the end of the year coming, with the new year coming, it's kind of my favorite part of the year. I have several favorite parts of the year, but I was looking through a journal I wrote yesterday. And I wrote it on my birthday, I think, in 2015. And 2015 was a great year for me. 2014 was an awesome year for me. But 2015, we started out in Los Angeles. We took a 3-day cruise. And then we got off the boat and we went and stayed in Venice. And that's where we celebrated New Year's. And then we went to the Rose Bowl parade the next day. And it was so much fun. Going to the parade, seeing the parade, having that experience was amazing. It was the best way to start off a year. I think it's probably one of the best, New Year's week celebrations and New Year's kind of things that I've ever had. And I look back on that, what a way to start a year. And I know at the end of 2014, because 2014 was a good year for me. It was a great year. There was a ton of change in it. Teresa bought a new home, and Teresa's my sister's my roommate, and I moved with her. So we came to the new home. We moved. We got unpacked. We celebrated living in a brand new home, her new home. And my sisters came out. It was just a wonderful year. We planned our trip. Then we went on the trip, and there was just so much to look forward to. I started a new venture. I started a new business. Not the most successful thing, but I started it, and I learned a lot. So that year was amazing. And then to start 2015 by going to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl parade, celebrating that way on New Year's morning was great. And going into 2015, it gave me an amazing shot. It was fun. It was wonderful. And so that's, kind of how I approach the end of the year now that it's 2017, and how I'm going to approach going into 2018. It's fun. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And I think, with the new year coming, it reminds us that life is short. Go for it. And that is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in the midst of some more changes, and I'm looking forward to those changes. Without a doubt, I get a little nervous, but I like change, and I look forward to doing it. In the middle of it, I'm just as scared, and that's why I talk about that. That's why I'm talking about this right now. Is I do get a little nervous too, and it's I can only bring up sometimes what I'm going through. I don't bring up a lot of things that I haven't experienced firsthand, and so that's what I wanted to talk about today. This is Inspiration Morning Live number 116. And I want to say that I'm really happy that you come and you visit me. And I think that, I've talked, we've chatted and, done 116 of these in Inspiration Morning. And it's because this was kind of my goal as a community there goes Winston. It was kind of my goal to have something like this where we can share, we can interact, and we can talk about those things in life that may show us some resistance, that may be a challenge to us, that we may need a little extra oomph, a little extra courage, a little, je ne sais quoi, I don't know what, that we need to push on in our life. Inspiration is, you look around and sometimes it gets a bad name, and I kind of understand why. But you need to, for me, as I put on my Twitter handle, my bio there is, I like the law of attraction with action. You have to have action. Hi, Puka. Yeah, he's going to howl. It's okay, though. He just wants some attention. So enjoy your day, enjoy your life. And if there's something you want and you feel that it's out of reach and you just don't want to go through the pain to getting there, change your thoughts, change your process. Change doesn't have to be painful. Change is a good thing. And that is a lot of what the memes I write about have in an Inspiration Morning is change is okay. And we can do it. And I think when you get on the other end of change you wanted, but it was kind of hard and the process of doing it. And I think it's just sometimes unfamiliarity. We don't like being unfamiliar. I think that is the part about change we don't like. When you get to the other end, turn around and look back and go, it was a good time. I had a good experience. Whether it was pleasant or not, learn the lessons from that experience. That's kind of how I truly feel. I have a love-hate relationship with change too. And, it's a big reason that I have Inspiration Morning as I do. And I want to say, have a great weekend. It is Friday. Have a great weekend. I will be back next week. And maybe I'll talk more about my change then and the things that I'm going through. And the things that I'm doing and that I'm really excited about, but I'm kind of nervous about because it's new. But I'm going to have fun. It's going to be a good time. And I look forward to seeing you on my next Facebook Live. Alrighty, ta-ta for now.